Look at that. Finally getting around to it. What is up, guys? For this video we are going to be completing the 5-lug conversion on the Dodge Dakota, getting matching wheels all the way around it, having good tires all the way around it, and finishing a project that I started 2 years ago on this truck. And part of the reason I didn't do it right away was just for financial reasons and because it made sense for me to run mixed match wheels for a while, because on these old 6-lug wheels that I've been running in the front, I had brand new tires that I bought myself right after I got the truck. So these things are only about 2.5 years old right now. On the back here we've got some Lionheart tires. These are 255, 45, 18, a little bit wide for the 7.5-inch Enkei wheels that we're running on here, but they fit. They look good, and these are gonna stick up really, really nice. Pretty much the cheapest summer performance tire I could get in the size on eBay, and they had really good reviews on them, so that's what I went with. These do have a really bad tread wear rating, but I don't put more than a couple thousand miles on this truck every year anyway, and these are gonna see a lot of burnouts, so the tread wear rating is pretty much irrelevant for me anyway. So doing a 5-lug conversion on the front of a Dodge Dakota. Now if you're here watching part 2 before watching part 1, go about 2 years back, you can find the part 1. I'm going to try to put the link in the description to the part 1 of the conversion, because that is a lot more involved getting the back end converted to 5-lug versus the front end. For the back end you have to pull axles out of the rear end and do a bunch of stuff there. But for the front end, if you want to do a 5-lug conversion, all you have to do is replace your front hub and rotor assembly. So right here we've got rotors for a 1987 to 1990 Dodge Dakota, and all we're going to do is just swap them out for these. That's it. It's an OEM part. It's a direct swap. You don't have to swap anything else out. I would recommend, if you have old wheel bearings or you're not sure if they've ever been done, getting some new wheel bearings to go in. These wheel bearings in here I put in when I replaced the brakes 2 years ago, so I'm just going to reuse them and just repack them with grease. They should be fine. I'll check them, make sure everything doesn't look like it's been getting hot or burned up. But that is literally it. You pull the brake calipers off, undo the castle nut, pull the old rotor off, put some grease in the bearings, pop the new ones on, put everything back together, put your wheels on, and your Dakota is 5-lug. That is it. So I've already got the truck jacked up, already got the wheels off and everything, so I'm going to sit you guys up and just do a little time lapse of doing this front corner here. I've been in here a couple times taking these on and off before, so this shouldn't take me very long. And we'll set it back down and have a truck with matching wheels, and a 2-year-long old project will be finished. Alright, so the first step here is just to get your brakes off and lay them up here somewhere. It is a 7mm, which is a size that I was looking for the other day, and I decided, no, there's no way that really exists. I'm not going to find that. And I have a Pittsburgh impact rated set, so you'll probably have to go to Harbor Freight to get yourself a 7mm Allen key, and I would get one for a ratchet, which is good. And it is not necessary, as long as your pads are in good shape. Mine are only a couple years old and have very few miles on them, as everything else on this truck has no miles because it doesn't get driven very much. So I'm just going to reuse them. They'll bed themselves into the freshly machined rotor and be fine. If you got some really old pads, you definitely should put some new ones in, but like I said, mine are good enough, even though the inside one looks significantly more worn than the outside one. Nice. Straighten this out, and if your truck is like mine, this cap will probably just come off by hand. There's the castle nut, and this doesn't want to come off by hand, so we'll just crazy. Alright. And I bought Durago brand hubs and rotor assemblies, which have bearing cups pressed into them already, which means that I don't have to do that myself because they're an absolute pain. Got this lock washer, Beautiful. I'll definitely have to check these again after it gets a little bit of mileage put on it, but I do not want to over tighten them and cook these wheel bearings. So right there, and the cotter pin lines up beautifully. There we go. No play, spins smooth, but there's just a little bit of drag on it. So that's actually done. We just need to put the finishing touch on. There, that's on. And the slide pins on the caliper. And that's it. Everything is finished. And I'll go do the other side. That's torqued. My arm functions as a torque wrench, so that's it. That is 5-lug conversion almost finished. We just need to put the wheels on, so but that's it. That's all you got to do. Swap your rotor on, a couple tools, some grease, some rags, and you're finished, as long as none of your stuff is broken. Alright, well, the 5-lug conversion is done, but we have a very serious fitment issue that I did not see coming. So, the wheels are the right pattern and sort of the right bore size, but the problem here is that this giant lip right here is way too big to fit into this 70 mil bore in here, because it goes from 70 to like probably 60 something, and it is just not gonna work. I really did not predict this being an issue. That's just really weird. I'm gonna go to my storage unit and see if the other set of wheels I've got will at least be able to get on here just to get this thing moving, because currently I have no wheels to put on it, and I'm not gonna go to the trouble of swapping the 6-lug stuff back on just to move it around. Alright, well, I did get some wheels on here. These, you might remember, are the wheels that used to be on my 2G Eclipse, and they slid right on, no problem. These are Private or whatever, I can't remember the brand. I think I do like the look of the end keys better than these on this truck. I thought these would look better, but I don't know, maybe it's just because these are all dirty and covered in plasti dip, and maybe it's because the tires are shorter on these, because these are 225 4018. I'm going to set it down. This will be also a pretty good experiment for tire height in the front, because I was wondering if running a really short tire in the front would look right, but it doesn't seem to fill the wheel ball out very well. But we will find out. At least now the truck rolls and stuff. And I used to run I had these wheels on the back of the truck for a little while, if you guys might remember. So I'll set it down on the ground to see how it kind of looks when it's sitting all the way down, and decide if maybe I want to run these wheels, and we'll have the truck officially 5-lug swapped, and then later on I'll have to figure out how to get the matching wheels on here. There it is on the ground. These tires are so much shorter than the other ones that were on here. It actually has a ton of room in here, but they're way too rubber bandy for me. Not enough sidewall. Definitely not enough sidewall. It actually looks like it's broken with these on here. The backs look amazing. I think what I'm going to do on the front here, I had a plan on getting tires that were like half an inch shorter than the backs. These are like a whole inch and a half shorter. So I think that actually kind of confirms my idea here. So like I don't know, like a 225 45 would look pretty good, or a 225 50 would probably work pretty good. And I also still think that those wheels look better than these on this truck. It just pulls the end keys off a lot better than these do. So but yeah, 5-lug swapped Dakota, and it's also a little heads up for you guys. If you've got some multi-lug wheels like what I've got, they might not fit up here because they've got multiple bore sizes on them as well, and the snout on this hub is so long on the bore. But it is finished. I just got to get some wheel spacers figured out, and we can get the matching set of wheels on with the matching height tires, and that'll be it. We'll have a fully 5-lug swap Dakota with matching wheels, but for right now, at least I can move the truck around and drive it. So that's going to be the end of the video, guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed finally getting the part 2 video on the 5-lug swap on this truck, and I will see you all later.